Welcome to the SciFi Pubcast. Come for a drink, but stay for the speculation. Let's not bury the lead, shall we? We're doing the portrayal of media and science fiction. There's nothing fake about it. So break out the scotch from the liquor cabinet and open up the newspaper or whatever the kids are reading these days. This is the SciFi Pubcast. Greetings, welcome to the SciFi Pubcast, the podcast that tries to be a pub and perhaps someday a pub that tries to be a podcast. And I'm looking around, and who do I see? I see Carrie and I see Derek. Hi, Carrie.
Hi.
And hi, Derek.
Hey, you can't get rid of me.
Great.
We've tried.
Yes, lovely. Well, let's usually start, we start it this way usually. Carrie, how has your day been?
Oh, not bad. I went to Los Angeles Comic-Con yesterday, so now I'm recovering from hours and hours of walking around.
Ooh, that sounds cool in a sense.
Yeah.
How was the con?
Oh, it was fun. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Runaways panel. I went to this kind of neat panel on the mythology of Final Fantasy. Basically,
cool.
You know, explanations for all the various terms and creatures in Final Fantasy and stuff like that. Stuff they get where the names probably came from. Yeah, that was pretty much it. I met Pope Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Did
Wow.
you say punk?
Pope.
Pope Deadpool.
Okay,
Yes.
so can you
I
describe?
met his holiness Pope Deadpool.
Oh God, was he speaking Latin? What?
No, he had the mitre and the all the accoutrement of the Pope, and he was Deadpool.
Yeah. You know, if I make one joke, it's going to be very blasphemous, so I'm not going to say anything else.
Okay, I mean the blasphemy is already there. Like I said, I was hanging out with Pope Deadpool. The jokes just, you know.
Oh God.
The jokes just form themselves. and you know, the religious roulette and all that.
Wow. Okay. Thank God we have Derek here because I'm sure Derek is not going to say anything controversial.
Nah.
What?
So, you know, Derek, how's things? How's the kitchen doing?
It is approaching being clean. We'll get there one day, but not this year.
Oh, that's nice. Have you tried, I don't know, mopping and like cleaning? Like, I know you have the spray stuff that kills all the, you know, bacteria.
I've read about those things, and one day we're gonna have a practical test, but life gets in the way.
Such is life.
What is it they say? Man plans and God laughs.
Great.
I don't know what he's using to clean.
Yeah. Oh well.
Can't you get the Ewoks to do it?
No, they don't clean. They just guard the kitchen and make sure you don't do anything that will kill too many people.
Well, couldn't we just kind of wet them down and rub them around like a big mop?
I'm gonna forget you even said that.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
gonna make sure that they don't hear you either.
Lovely. Okay, let's move on before the Ewoks overhear these things that we were saying right about them right now. Okay, well, our topic is the portrayal of media in science fiction. But before we get there, I just want to do some housekeeping, guys. First thing, our show has been delayed by 3 weeks now, and I apologize for that. My Mac ProBook, my dear computer laptop, which is only 2 years old, somehow got some malware on it, and it wouldn't go away no matter what I did. And before you make the joke, I was on Wikipedia. I wasn't on any of the, questionable sites. I'm a pretty straight guy, straight-laced guy, so I have no idea where I picked up this malware, but it was evil, and I had to wipe the computer down and spend hours at the Apple Store.
That's really scary because I'm on Wikipedia all the time.
I know. It wasn't Wikipedia, but it was something like that. It could have been time delay. But literally, I lost my mind for several days over this problem, and then I had to just bleed. Like, I was functioning without a computer for 8 days before I could get into the Apple Store. Wow. So so I apologize for that. That's on my end. Okay, other thing is we're now back to being an independent show. There's some stuff happening over When the Nerds Attack podcasting network, and I want to take this time to say that it's a great network, and thank you very much to everyone who's involved, and to, of course, Ernie Garcia, who was the director there. And we're just going to move on and push on, and thank you, and we're very grateful and very humble about our last year being on their network.
And hopefully we can finally get him on as a guest. We were supposed to do it, but it never worked out.
Yeah, I've been on some podcasts with him on the Crash Couch talking about The Expanse before. That's always entertaining. And not sure what the other shows or what's happening over there, but I know Chris McGuffin is still alive, and we're just waiting for a season for The Expanse. So there's that. But let's talk media and science fiction. What do you guys think?
Sounds very timely.
Yeah, timely. Yeah, because I'm not sure about you, but as of maybe November 2016, the whole media thing has taken a complete different spin in the Western world, at least. I can't speak for the other parts of the world, but especially in the States. But you see it in elsewhere. You see it in Europe. You see it in Britain with Brexit, I should say. You see it to a limited degree in Canada. It's the whole idea of what's the media and what's fake news, and it's timely. And I just thought, hey, we just thought it, and I think, Derek, this was actually your idea, so I don't want to take credit for it.
This
is all Derek's fault.
Well, I mean, as someone who just sits around watching TV all day in their own lives, I always thought it was funny that when you read or watch a sci-fi story, that a lot of times there is no media, and these people are just kind of existing in a vacuum. And in the real world, there would be news programs and TV shows that would be watching movies and sitcoms, but that is so often not done in sci-fi. And I think it's kind of a big cultural plot hole in a lot of stories, and that very few franchises actually take the time to create a full world where people just sit around watching television doing nothing.
Yeah, which is unfortunately not very dramatic, and it's more realistic.
Not very exciting.
Yeah.
But still, just to have like a TV on in the background on mute, Yeah,
exactly. But then again, it's about storytelling in science fiction. And I think the idea of, fake news is so relevant because there's always been fake news. As long as there's been a printing press or some sort of way to relate information to people, you're always going to get fake or unreliable news. I think now, I think folks are more aware of that, at least some of them, because it's so in your face, especially on social media, and especially because of certain politicians. And I'm looking at that. It's like, yes, the media has always been biased. There's always corporate interests. There's always been government public relations interests, even citizen journalism. There's bias. The idea is to acknowledge your bias and move on. There's no one in the world who's not biased because we all carry our own baggage with us and our own way of looking at the world around us. I bet there's actually bias in podcasting. What do you guys think?
What?
I know. No. Shocking. I know.
No, that's all completely fabrication.
Oh, wow.
Everything you hear on a podcast is 100% the truth.
But if you're expressing your own opinion, that is your truth. So in a way, it is unbiased because your opinion is your truth.
Yeah, I call bullshit on that. Okay, but that's what bias means. It's being relative in terms of the truth. So if we all have our own truth, well, what happens when there's conflicts or when there's contradiction?
To borrow from the great Neil deGrasse Tyson, you are entitled to your own truth. You are not entitled to your own facts.
Yeah, but what is a fact? And we're being played. We're being played by so many people right now. And
so you don't believe the Earth being round is a fact.
Well, I think we are. Yes, of course, I believe that. Look, you're talking about. I'm all about science, empirical evidence. Okay.
I know. I'm giving you a hard time, Joel.
I know.
I mean, I've seen the curvature of the Earth when I ride in a plane, but I think that's just because of the thing they're gassing into the atmosphere. for the passengers.
Oh God, here we go. The whole conspiracy theory stuff. Listen, there's enough liars and cheats out there, and I just don't want to give them any more soapboxes to stand on and any more exposure, because quite frankly, how we are going to make a world better is by actually having some critical thought and thinking about things, as opposed to just believing shit that you want to believe in.
Yep.
So, but that's my soapbox, and I'm going to get right back down off of it right now. Okay. Okay. Because I'm just looking at social media, and be quite frankly, and I said this before on the record, up until the fall of 2016, I was really active on Twitter, and I quite liked it. And I thought it was a great community, for instance, the Star Wars community. And then suddenly it's just so attack focused, and it's completely turned me off, because in any community you are going to have differing opinions. That is what unites the community, and even that is under attack right now.
Right.
I think, say, if you follow the Expanse TV show or the books, I think their community is smaller and much more disciplined than, say, Star Wars community, which is just I had to stop following some people. It was that bad, and I stopped following a lot of people because I just did not need the negativity in my life. Like, there's enough negative.
I only follow people that are positive. If someone is negative, just cut them loose.
Yeah, there's enough negative stuff happening in my life right now. Yeah, I don't need to see it and be bombarded by it all the time. So what do we mean by media? Well, of course, it's the plural of medium, and medium could be anything from TV or radio to, they call it new media, which is the internet back 20 years ago when I was at university taking journalism. It's anything like that. It could be books, the printing press I mentioned earlier. It could be cave drawings, right? So something that conveys information usually means to more than one person, but it could be just one person. Yeah, it could be, the Cyclops in Babylon 5 conveying meaning through, not telepathy. Yeah, thank you, telepathy. Okay, there you go. So, and I think it's interesting about how science fiction addresses that, because science fiction is always, is always about speculation and involves information because it's storytelling. So, a science fiction author thinks about what happened or what will happen in the future, and then tells a good story out of it. So let us look at the media portrayed in science fiction. Guys, where do you want to start?
Well, I know this isn't in our show notes, but have any of you guys seen Venom yet?
I haven't.
Because Eddie Brock is a reporter.
What else? Go ahead.
Anyway. But if neither of you have seen it yet, then
no, I did see it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's one of those. He is a street reporter. He's going after the truth of stuff, and he's pretty in people's faces about it. So, kind of more of a social media, social justice reporter.
I think he was employed by a paper or a magazine, but he was kind of his own little guy running around doing his own.
Yeah.
Well, he's no Clark Kent, I can tell you that.
That is true.
That's interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen Venom yet. It's on my to-do list. Hey, just had a thought. Is there any, reporters in, say, Doctor Who or any show on the media besides, say, news reports?
In Doctor Who,
I remember in the first season episode Aliens in London, they did show the news reporting on the UFO crashing in the Thames, but I don't really know if they've done much after that.
Yeah, it was they kind of reported it as like a cover-up type thing. Stuff like there's the news reporters in the the second Hellboy movie where they're like. Or the first one, where they're talking about there's the break-in at the museum, and the reporters are there, and suddenly there's and here comes this trash truck.
Oh, I love it.
That has abs that normally would have no business being at a crime scene, but there's this trash truck, and that's how they smuggled Hellboy and Abe into the scene.
Ah, cool. Yes, was it afflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted? That's a saying in journalism. Real journalism, not yellow journalism, and not fake journalism.
Right.
I can still remember that. I'm all about people like Marcia McLuhan, who is a Toronto academic back in the '60s. Who the medium is the message. That's so important because the way the information is conveyed affects how we interpret the information. There's like hot mediums and cold mediums. This is really cool stuff. So, for instance, like news, TV, it's passive. You can look at it, and the information just goes in your head. Whereas a cold medium would be like reading, because it takes active energy to actually read line by line and to process the written information.
Right.
Yes, there we go. I'm feeling like being an armchair philosopher right now. I don't know why, but yeah. So there's lots of other examples in science fiction, and we'll get to the big boys, so to speak, later in the show. But I actually like one, you might have heard of it, Starship Troopers.
Oh, that is a good example.
Yeah,
I haven't. I've only seen bits and pieces of Star Trek.
Oh,
I know. I need to get some sci-fi cred back on that one.
Yeah, it's based on the short story by Robert Heinlein, and it is amazing. I know it's like 20 years old, and there's been some really bad sequels, and there's some video games, but the way they embedded the reporter in the invasion of the one planet, and then of course the reporter gets completely killed and dissected by the bugs. Oh, it's classic.
And a lot of the movie is told in the form of a news broadcast, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it's just a way where you can push the plot forward and convey information and show bias. And I think I did well because, of course, Starship Troopers is all about fascism as a political ideology and how it works in some ways and doesn't in others.
Yeah, the quote-unquote news reports were basically war propaganda that were... God, I haven't seen that movie in so long, but... But they were like clearly portraying, the bugs as like these evil invaders, when in reality it was humanity that was expanding into their planets that caused them to attack in the first place.
Come on, that must have been fake. You're just saying that. You're pro bug, aren't you, Derek? Yeah. So the movie came out in 1997. Of course, directed by Paul. I always script this guy's last name. Paul Verhoeven. Verhoeven. Yes. And I was starring people like Caspar Van Dien, Dinah Meyer, Denise Richard, Jake Busey, Neil Patrick Harris, even. Michael Ironside, of course, and Patrick Mulden. Yes, that's right. I'm reading off a website. Lovely.
That's fine.
Aren't
we all?
The idea is propaganda, and it's just not in Starship Troopers. Even something like a classic one, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, from 1977. Steven Spielberg, all that good stuff, and everything's like you have these people in it who are being called by the UFOs or the alien life forms to go to this certain place. And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, it's been out for like 40 odd years. Sorry for your luck. But they all have to go to Devil's Tower in Wyoming. And of course, there's a government little reception area there, and they don't want any public people around. So the military leaked a false report of a train crash and containing a release of toxic nerve gas to try to convince people to leave. But of course, cattle will be okay, and cows and stuff like that. But just humans, no, you got to get out of there right away. Go, go, go.
Yeah, right.
So that's a use of the military in this case, but an interest using the media to get the results what they wanted, which is to clear the area of civilians.
And they do the same thing in J.J. Abrams' movie Super 8 as well.
Yeah, and which is, I think, him paying homage to Close Encounters, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, that whole movie was a thinly veiled Spielberg homage.
Yes, can't wait till the day when I can actually, win the lottery and start doing documentary film work. Can't wait to that. Okay.
I lost again last night, by the way.
I did too. Actually, no, wait. See, I'm in Canada, so I played the Lotto Max and the 649. I got a free play on the 649, but it was 60 million Canadian, which is the max for it. Yeah, I'm sad. I usually don't play the lottery because I think it's a aggressive form of taxation that hurts the poor. But yeah, I'm playing nowadays because I need some hope in my life. So actually, I'm actually paying so that I can actually have my brain think of what ifs. So that's why I'm paying.
I normally don't play either, but here in America, it hit. Well, it was supposed to be an all-time record of 1.6 billion. So I jumped in on the office pool.
Great.
And we lost.
Oh, well. Because if anyone out there did win the lottery and you want to buy the SciFi Pubcast, yes, I'll put up for sale. Trust me.
I'll keep that in mind. Should I ever play?
We all have a price.
Right, right. Okay, moving on. What other franchises or content in science fiction that has some sort of media aspect to it or use of real news or fake news?
You guys have Star Trek listed on here, but I don't remember a whole lot of news services being in Star Trek.
That was the problem. It didn't have a good portrayal of media.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't really about the media per se. I mean, there was. They probably could have done some news reports and such around the Dominion War, but that's pretty much the only place where I think news media might have been helpful. Well, that and the Xindi arc in Enterprise.
Yeah, there's a Federation news service which is mentioned on the Memory Alpha Wikia site, but it's just so thin. It's mentioned in one episode of Enterprise B, I think it says, and it's not very much. And that's
there was the whole storyline of Jake Sisko being a reporter for the Federation news service.
Yeah, Jake Sisko became a reporter.
Yeah.
He did that there was a whole episode in season 4 during the Klingon War, and then he was reporting during the Dominion occupation of the station. So that was really the one time that they really touched on it.
Yeah. But
I think they've mentioned it in some of the books, but they haven't really, it's not really been a main focus of the shows.
Yeah, and it's a problem, don't you guys think? It's like, how do these people pay attention to what's happening around them? Do they rely on their command structure, to tell them what's happening in the universe?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the one excuse that you could use is since we're seeing military crews on a military ship that, they're kind of in their little service bubble, so they don't necessarily. But then again, Starfleet was pretty, lax as a military organization. They certainly had, free time and socializing in their little 10-forward bar and everything.
Starfleet isn't technically a military organization. It has a military structure, but it's more for mutual protection and exploration. It's not, the primary function is not necessarily military.
Technically.
Technically.
Most of the ships are armed, but details.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of you guys have read the Star Trek novels, but in the post Nemesis timeline, they kind of had a much more serialized through line going through all the franchises, and things got militaristic with lots of wars and that sort of thing. I've
heard that. I haven't gotten. I'm very behind on my reading right now.
Yeah, I'm probably about a decade behind the books, but the ones that I have read are very good. I only started reading them 3 or 4 years ago.
I'm even farther behind than that, and I've been lax in reading this year. So
yeah, well, there's also The Expanse. There was one reporter in The Expanse that played a huge role, And yes, that's right. It was, what's her name, from Montreal. I just had it up. Oh my God, I'm losing it, people.
I forget the name too.
No,
is it Monica?
Yeah, Monica.
Monica, yeah.
Sorry, I literally just had it up, and of course it went away. Okay, Monica Stewart, played by Anna Hopkins.
Yes.
And I think she played a very good, the portrayal of the journalist who just wants the story and will do anything to get it, lying or using sex or do any way just to get the good story, just so that the journalist herself can become better and get paid more money and be more famous. What do you guys think?
I do think that The Expanse did a good job of showing media use, because I remember there's the whole thing about when, oh my God, what's the main character's name?
Holden. When
Holden was kind of like the most wanted man in the universe, you know, they were watching all these news programs vilifying him, and then when they had Prax on board, they kind of started a GoFundMe campaign on the internet to pay for him.
Yeah, that was great.
I particularly love that, because now that was a real use of, you know, internet and media in the future, because of course there would still be like that kind of thing going on. If anything, you'd think it'd be even more widespread than it is now.
True.
I can see in 5 years there'll be science fiction shows that the way they convey information to the media will be like on Instagram by pictures and emojis. You know, one or two lines that actually convey some sort of meaning but no details. Yes.
With cute filters.
Yeah, the dumbing down of humanity right there, I can tell you. But I might be a bit biased right now. Okay. So The Expanse. What else is there? Going towards the more bigger shows. Oh, you know.
Star Wars, you mean?
Oh, I think Star Wars is huge, but I think there's one.
Nah, it's not that big.
No. Okay, let's talk about Star Wars, then we can move on to the one that I was thinking of. But Star Wars, we have the HoloNet and the HoloNet news.
Oh, right. I mean, it's not really prominent in the movies. It's more prominent in like Clone Wars and Rebels, and in a lot of the Legends books, but it's not really all that much in the movies, in the main storyline.
Yeah, the novels definitely did a good job of showing the media. I remember in the Yoda Dark Rendezvous novel, a reporter was one of the main characters. And then in the New Jedi Order, there was a lot of media stuff, including there was a reporter who recurred through several of the later books.
Yeah.
And then the Fate of the Jedi series, which I feel like I'm the only person in the world that read, but was really good. That there was a lot about the media in there, because there was a former Imperial person in charge of the Republic, and she was vilifying the Jedi, and she was using the media to do a smear campaign on the Jedi and make people think that they were the villains. So that was a very good use of it.
Right.
Interesting.
And they also mention HoloNet dramas a lot in the books as well.
Right.
Which I like, because, I mean, I got to say, like, people are going to watch movies and TV shows, you know? I mean, it would just be a part of people's lives, especially with technology making it so easy to consume these things, because it's not like the old days when you had to be home at a certain time to catch it on the TV. Everything is just online to watch whenever you want now. So if anything, it would become more prevalent, not less.
Well, you had that in Star Trek too with the Doctor. He was becoming a holonovelist in his spare time.
Yeah. Oh, and for Star Trek, we need to mention the holosuites, because that is a form of media in a way, because it's basically like living a movie yourself.
Yeah. Oh, and we can go the whole virtual reality thing. You get plug in and get into your own world and all that. And we've done shows on that. And yeah, just it's interesting when you look at it through the lens, no pun intended, of media and science fiction.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of old-fashioned, because when I think of media, I think of something that you passively observe, not something that you directly interact in. So, like, I don't really, when I think of media, I don't think of like video games or virtual reality games, because that's more something that you're actually controlling and interacting with. Whereas a TV show or a movie or news, you're just sitting and watching. You're taking it in. You're not changing the content.
Sure, but isn't this kind of blurring in contemporary life on Earth in like the year 2018, where if you share a Facebook posting or like a Facebook posting and other people see it, I think that's a form of a medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it ends up in your news feed. And I can tell you, I've been using the mute button a lot recently. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they had the. I mean, either of you guys watched the Orville?
Yes.
Saw the first half season. I haven't.
Oh, because they had the episode where where the planet is completely run by social media, and you live or die based on how many likes you have.
Oh yeah, I love that. I saw that one. That's great.
That was kind of creepy.
It's so creepy, and I can see it. It's all about being nice and having a good image and looking pretty.
Yeah.
And fitting in and that. Yeah. And I think it's just so absurd.
Yeah.
And I feel like that show hasn't been on in 2 years now. It feels like forever.
It's supposed to be back. I think the beginning of the year.
Yeah. So they finished, I guess, at the end of 2017.
No, they finished last year.
Wait, well, yeah, 2017 was last year. Yeah.
No, they finished. No, I mean, they finished this year.
Oh, like
Right.
January or February of this year, and then they're not coming back until January or February of the following year. That's a long time to wait. People are going to forget.
I think when did they finish? When was their?
I remember it was very
They're,
early because they only did 13 episodes.
I'm trying to.
They need
figure
more.
out.
They need more media exposure to get the second season.
So the last episode aired on December 2017.
Oh, that's
and the first episode of next season premieres December 30th.
It's a long wait.
Uh-huh.
2 months. It's a month.
No, but I mean between seasons because you know the average Joe who doesn't care about these things is just going to forget that show ever existed.
Yeah, and me who has too much stuff to watch needs things spaced out more. So it's good for me.
Yeah. One thing, going back to Star Wars and the HoloNet, wasn't there some episodes of the Rebels at least that the HoloNet was used as like the most wanted people out there, so that you get to see people's faces to arrest and to rat out?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then there was also when at the end of season 1 when Ezra sent out a pirated signal announcing, that there was, that people were fighting back on. What is wrong with me today? I can't remember names. What's the planet Ezra's from? Lothal.
Lothal.
And then there was also when Mon Mothma made her public announcement against Emperor Palpatine that went out everywhere on the HoloNet as well.
Interesting. Well, you know what I've been doing the last couple of weeks? I've been finally getting around to rewatching Babylon 5. I bought it off of iTunes several months ago, and there's so much content. And literally, I just started season 5 last night. So I've watched 4 out of the 5 seasons.
And some of it's actually pretty relevant for today, especially some of the media the media-centric episodes.
Oh, yeah, because you have the Interstellar Network News, which was taken over by President Clark after his coup, and turned into a propaganda wing for the Earth Force government.
Yeah, that would never happen.
No, never. They wouldn't execute journalists on the spot to ensure that they have their own people taking over the forms of communications. Like, no, that's not even the book on how to stage a coup. Come on. Yeah, boy. And eventually, you have the command staff of Babylon 5, all the good people there, and they decided to have their own voice of the resistance, based off of, say, the French model during the Second World War of the French resistance, where they try to tell people the truth.
Right.
And
as well as one of us really good at that.
Yeah, it's definitely Babylon 5. The first season looks so dated, the CGI, but just the plot points in season 2 to season, say, 4.5 is just amazing.
Yeah.
So, the whole idea of, just it's like Star Trek, but more gritty and more political.
Yes.
And at the time, it was completely groundbreaking because nobody ever did such highly serialized content like that. It really was a novel for television.
Yeah. And It's great. We're going to do a show on Babylon 5. I wanted to get Randall Graham on because he's a fanatic about that. And we're going to talk about Babylon 5 and everything in detail. I don't know when, but it's on my list of things to do as a topic.
And let me just point out that it is currently on Amazon Prime for free, so you can watch the whole series on there for no cost, assuming you have Amazon Prime.
There's also the it's not really news media per se, but the extrapolation of what gets misinterpreted by other cultures. There's that episode of Crusade that was basically like an homage to X-Files,
right.
where where the aliens they encountered pretty much took their cues from what would be like 20th century Earth culture.
Wow.
So that was, yeah.
What's really neat. Okay, so in season 2, episode 19, the name of the episode is called Divided Loyalties. You have this newspaper machine. It's really interesting to see how people really wanted to think that they'll still have like physical print, news coming out.
Right.
Yeah, that was a quaint idea.
Yeah. So you have Sheridan and you have Dylan, right? Okay. And they both go to this, it looks like an ATM or a bank machine, right? And they punch in their favorites. Sheridan wanted the news on the World Series, and Dylan wanted some gossip column. And it just pushed out, and it's an aggravated news source. But at least it's
right.
It's physical. You can actually hold it, and you can kill flies with it, or you can recycle it. And this is for like 95 or 96, and that was so wrong.
Well, I mean, I think there have been studies on this that sometimes people retain more information if they're holding like a physical copy of something instead of reading it off a screen. Like if they're because actually to borrow from Rupert Giles in season 1 of Buffy, screens don't smell, computers don't smell. Then smell helps ingrain something in your mind. So if you're reading something off of paper, you have the printed word, but you also have the smell of the paper and just the you have the extra sensory input. Yeah,
I agree with that. But I'm 44 years old, so I can deal with both environments. I know. In a professional environment, I like to print stuff off. Like if I do legal work, I always want to read because I'm reading so much content, so much information, and I want to mark up the page. And I know you can do it on a PDF, but I'd like to have a hard copy, especially if I'm going to use the material for a trial or a hearing or something like that. Because then you head right there, and then it helps with the rules of evidence as well. But it also helps you remember what you're trying to think of and the fine details.
And I like to draw inappropriate cartoons on them.
Of course. So,
why am I not surprised?
I do think that Babylon 5 is the best example that I can think of for use of media and sci-fi, and I think that was because J. Michael Straczynski, the creator and head writer, he actually was a journalist before he was a television and novel writer. So he actually has a direct background in all this sort of thing. And there's 2 episodes in the series that are basically nothing but a TV broadcast. In season 2, you had And Now for a Word, which was that was before there was a coup on Earth. So the bias was very subtle in that one. It was mostly a straight up news story, but with just the slightest hint of anti-alien paranoia. And then in season 4, they did The Illusion of Truth, which was the exact opposite. It was a total propaganda piece. The first half of the episode showed the news crew filming with our characters, and they were trying to be so careful to say things that couldn't be misinterpreted or re-edited or chopped up or anything like that. And then the second half, we see the episode where, of course, everything was twisted to make them come off as these, maniacal, violent puppets of alien regimes.
Yeah, thank God that doesn't happen nowadays. I agree. I think Babylon 5 is an amazing show. especially after the first season, and the way they portray the media, for the most part, besides the newspaper machine, was dead on.
Yeah, and towards my original point, the people are always having the TVs on in the background. Like you'll always see ISN playing in like every other episode. We had the same reporter that we saw recurring through all the seasons, so it was always a constant presence in the show because JMS, as a reporter, knew that that's a part of life. People are gonna watch. People are gonna have their TV on. People are gonna watch media. They're gonna read the news.
They got to go to bars to drink and to watch the news as well. Yeah.
And in Babylon 5, people go to bars all the time.
All the time.
And ISN is always like playing up on the TV there.
Right. Well, I mean, you had that in Firefly and Serenity too. You know, the screens up in the bars, and that's how River got triggered a couple of times. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure that happened.
And plus you had Mr. Universe, which was awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's like secret coded messages that's been sent over to the media to trigger folks' psychology to change and to act on orders. But who knows? It's good science fiction stuff. Okay, guys. Any last thoughts about media in science fiction? Any other examples you can think of off the top of your head?
Not that I'm aware of. Derek?
Oh, Joel, I did forget to mention earlier, as the theme of our new show, I've introduced fake booze into the bar.
Fake booze?
For fake news, fake booze. Yeah,
Fake booze.
I swapped out all the alcohol with sparkling water.
Right.
You told me that we needed to save on the budget.
Okay.
So I figured I sold the alcohol off, and I just kind of bought a bunch of sparkling waters, and I used colored dye when appropriate.
Okay, Derek,
No one's going to notice.
Okay, after the show's done, I want you to go back into the kitchen and don't go towards the bar ever again. Okay.
Yeah, Derek.
Okay. And
stay away from Joel's bar.
Okay, and stay out of the stock room. Okay, in the cooler. Okay, don't go in there.
That's where the meat is.
Well, okay. Go on the food side.
Stay away from the other cooler. Actually, Joel, I'm going to put a couple more Ewoks in front of the liquor cabinet.
Please do. God,
back.
yes, please do.
I'll just get them drunk to get past them.
Okay.
I got plenty of alcohol sitting around now, so.
Ah, there you go. Great.
Have you ever seen a drunk Ewok? They're mean.
Yeah. Right, so on that note, we're closing. Okay, yeah, it's closing time. We have 3 social media channels talking about social media. We have the Twitter, which is focused on sci-fi news, and me, Joel, making an occasional pun or joke. We have Facebook, which is what Derek manages. Hi, Derek.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for doing the Facebook page. You're doing a great job doing that. Keep on doing it. And then we have Instagram, which is my attempt to actually bring more food, beer, bar-related stuff into social media. More of a real-world type stuff. Anything to do with science fiction in the real world that I can find, I generally take a picture and post it there. And trust me, I'm out trying to do like active research in this area because, quite frankly, I do want to open up my own bar someday, perhaps when I retire or when I win the lottery. Still have to check my tickets from last night. Okay, there's that. The SciFi Pubcast on Twitter can be found at, this is really original, at SciFi Pubcast. And like us on Facebook. Guys, what's your Twitter address?
My Twitter handle is Kerry Blackfire42. That's Keri Blackfire42.
I am at Derek JBB. Right.
And again, as always, leave us a podcast review on Apple Podcast. And if not, okay, it's understandable, but it would really help us if you do. And if you want a sticker, send us an email at management@scifipubcast.space, an email address that's now actually working as of last month. I better double check that again. And that's about it. Guys, go out there, have fun in life, and see the world around you and question everything. Okay?
Trust no one.
Yeah, trust no one. Trust me on that one. Okay.
But the truth is out there.
Okay. Make it home safe, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Music provided courtesy of Logan Rathbone. Podcast logo by Drew M. Copyrighted Joe Welch. Listen responsibly, and we can't wait for your next visit to our fine establishment. Cheers.